Information.com. I like to invite the speaker, Mr. Altaf Aijaz Andrabi, who will speak about garlic and export potential. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Just good afternoon, everybody whosoever is just listening across. I am once again with one topic, that's this garlic, which normally is a household name across the world. It has multifarious uses. In case we will just start from the medicines, it is a huge medicinal value. Right from we are using it in our daily households, in our cuisines, in our every need of the life. We are putting this garlic to multifarious uses. And I'll be just discussing it today. The propagation, uh, its export potential related to the India in India, what it tells you. Because we are the second largest producers in the world, but because of the low productivity levels, this is simply a matter of concern. And for that matter, we'll be discussing how the propagation is to be carried out and what really the export potential of the garlic is and how many types of the value additions could be undertaken to reach to the level wherein we can generate the maximum income for our farmers and farming community in order to have the best as a business enterprise from this garlic production. Let me first introduce something about what this garlic is all about. Firstly, we should know the garlic we are talking, what its botanical name is. Its botanical name is Allium sativum, belongs to the family Eliaceae, and its chromosome number is, it is diploid, and 16 number of the chromosome we have. And once we'll be talking the where from, is it the native of India or else it has come from some other place? Its origin is considered to be Central Asia. Central Asian countries were very on or having this basically it has come from Central Asia and got propagated all across the world. Origination of this garlic is from Central Asian countries. It is used as a spice and a condiment throughout the India or across the world. And garlic promotes the well-being of heart, immune system with antioxidant properties. So henceforth, this has a multifarious use. You will find it is common use in our cuisines. You will find it is high medicinal values. In case of blood pressures, we are just putting it into use. And also in this antioxidant properties of this garlic is blessed with. And it helps also to maintain the blood circulation of the human beings. And therefore, is otherwise gearing is considered to be of highest importance in our daily lives. Major garlic countries, what we are finding it's China, USA, Egypt, Korea, and India is second largest producer in the world. What it contains, what's the nutritional value of this garlic? So we must, everybody thinks what garlic has a specific nutritional value, which makes it so special amongst all the spices and the condiments. It is contains high content of ascorbic acid. Carbohydrates, it is 29 grams per 100 grams. It is protein, 6.3 grams per 100 grams. It is phosphorus, 310 milligrams per 100 grams. Thiamine, 0.16 milligrams per 100 grams. Riboflavin, 0.23 milligrams per 100 grams. And calcium above all. It is 30 milligrams per 100 grams. So this is the nutritional value which makes it highly required spice which normally will find space in our daily lives. Originally, I already told you that it has originated from the Central Asian countries and we must now come back to our own country where it is being produced. Madhya Pradesh, excuse me, Madhya Pradesh happens to be the major contributor in the production of this you move, Madhya Pradesh is the first country, is the first, stands at number one, who produce the maximum, and the production is maximum in case of Madhya Pradesh. Number two is Rajasthan. Number third is the Gujarat. Third, Uttar Pradesh, and fifth is the Assam. And what are the districts in the various? What are the various districts which normally is in Madhya Pradesh, it is Ratlam, Ujjain, Mandsaur, Neemuch, Indore, etc. Rajasthan mein Kota, Baran, Jawahar, Pratapgarh, and Chittorgarh. And Gujarat, Rajkot, Amreli, Dohar, Morbi, Junagadh. Uttar Pradesh, Mainpuri, Kashishganj, Ferozpur, Etawah, and Assam and Dhubri, Kamrup, Baksa, Chirang, Marigaon. These are the small places where different this is being produced in the large scale, though the productivity levels are very low still, but it is being produced and it's being in these districts of these different states, what I have already mentioned, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, and Assam, where we are finding it as a major crops in their cropping systems and the cropping calendars, and is major contributor to their economies of the farming community in these districts. And these are what are the various varieties. Varieties: Yamuna Safed, Yamuna Safed 2, Yamuna Safed 3, Yamuna Safed 4, Yamuna Safed 5, Yamuna Safed 6, Yamuna Safed 7, Yamuna Safed. It's the Yamuna series. Yamuna Safed series is it's up to nine from 1 to 9, and Godavari, Sweta, Puli Baswant, Bhima Purple, Bhima Umkar, Agri-Found Parvati, Agri-Found Parvati 2. These are the varieties which commonly are grown across the India. And what are the storage conditions at which it should be stored, as otherwise it will begin to sprout and it will lose its essence. Normally, the temperature of 0.5 to 2.2 degrees centigrade is a storage temperature for ideal storage temperature condition of this. This what it is called as a garlic, and relative humidity. It should be 60 to 70%. Peak harvesting season is March to April. Exports from India is 1.27 thousand metric tons, which values 2,997.88 lakh crores. Garlic, Allium sativum, it is in India, it is status second important bulb crop grown after onion and contributes. Next slide, madam. Okay. Second, it is garlic. What its special significance the garlic in India does have. It is the second important bulb crop grown after onion and contributes 14% of the world area and 5%. So much so is the important area. India, although ranks second by area and production, but is the lowest as far the productivity is concerned. That means on an average, we harvest 5.29 tons per hectare. This is too low in comparison to the other countries in the world where the garlic production is being promoted. The area and production of the garlic in 2010 and 11 had been 200.70, yani 2 lakh hectares of land, and 1,061.85 thousand tons, and 1,61.85 lakh tons, with an average yield of 5.29 tons per hectare is being produced in India. China happens to be the leading producer of the garlic, followed by India. So that means we are second in the world. It is grown in the large quantities in the states, what I have already mentioned. India is now exporting this garlic to the countries, even to Pakistan, to Thailand, USA, Nepal, and Malaysia, as well as the traditional market of the Bangladesh. It has been observed that the area and the production of the garlic is increasing in most of the states, except in the Maharashtra and Punjab state, and it is not taking off over there because of the reasons, because of the land constraints, and number one. Number two, the ideal weather conditions are not suited for the cultivation, which could yield them better than the crops which otherwise they are growing in these states. The production and productivity of the garlic in India is very low in comparison to the other countries. Because the reason for this is there are various orthodox systems which are being adopted, which results in the low production and productivity, and varieties which are presently available, which are not high yielding, and the agriculture techniques which are required for the propagation of this crop are not known to the farming community, and the diseases and various diseases which haunts this crop are still not being managed in a proper manner, so that there will be a better disease management for having the good yields, and also the pest management practices are not being followed vigorously. India has been able to export large quantities of garlic by ensuring the domestic requirements are met. But it is only a little quantity which is being exported, but maximum quantity is being consumed in our domestic markets because of our because of its wide uses in medicines, as a medicine, or else in as a value additions, garlic paste and all that, and in our daily cuisines. Area and production of the garlic in India is, we grow it for 274,000 hectares of land with an annual production of 1,701 lakh thousand metric tons, which is the annual production from this area. But that means it's 5.270, 5.29 tons per hectare yield, which is still considered to be very low in comparison to the yield what normally is getting across the world. There are three major garlic states which are normally area and production. Yes. Let me to go which are the areas. Normally, I have already mentioned the major garlic producing states in our country. Madhya Pradesh has 60,000 hectares of the land. Rajasthan has 45,000 hectares of land. Uttar Pradesh has 37,200 hectares of land. The highest production was recorded in case of Madhya Pradesh is 270,000 tons, followed by Gujarat at 250,000 tons, Rajasthan 218,400 tons. The highest productivity which has been recorded in Punjab in 12.16 tons per hectare, West Bengal 11.94 metric tons, and Maharashtra 11.43 tons. The long day garlic, where the long days are reported, is in Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand, but it's a very small areas are being is put under cultivation of the garlics. Economic importance in India. What is normally the economic importance? Garlic is the world's favorite versatile horticultural commodity consumed for culinary, medicinal, and antimicrobial purposes, and is being cultivated for over 5,000 years. But that means it is dated back 5,000 years of history that this crop has been in our soils. And it is being consumed since then. So much so, this is the importance of this crop, that this has sustained various vagaries and has not extincted as on date. But the overall improvements in the strains is finding a reason to promote this crop in the larger areas, and because of its larger demand, it is being accepted as a major enterprise in our agribusiness systems. The aroma in a garlic is due to the volatile organosulfur compound that's called the allicin. That makes it popular in the daily cooking in Indian household and rest of the world, especially in Asia and Mediterranean regions. Its medicinal value has been appreciated, especially in Unani and Ayurvedic system of medicines for digestive systems, disorders, blood cholesterol, sterility, cough, has tried various other diseases where it is being treated. Even at certain cases, I remember it key certain skin diseases are being treated by use of the garlic paste on that spot to rectify its disorder. The antibacterial action by virtue of the allicin has been found to have a potential even in the organic farming for treatment of the plant diseases. That means it will find a use in its organic cultivation when we have to go for the various prophylactic measures against various diseases, and it is paste or it is syrup will definitely help in preventing the various diseases in those crops where the organic cultivation is being promoted. So that means it is a sure system for promoting the organic culture in our agro-based systems. What climate it should require for propagating this garlic? It is grown under the wide range of the climatic conditions. But that means there is no specificity of the climate which normally will inhibit the cultivation as otherwise. But ideal conditions is that cannot stand the too hot or too cold weather conditions. But too hot conditions and too cold conditions cannot help its propagation. Prefers moderate temperature in summers as well as in the winters. Short days promote secondary growth and suppressed bulbing. Good, that means if there is a good prospect when there are long days, and this crop is being propagated, and it will definitely give the good bulbs. Under the short day conditions, this crop will be having reduced bulbs. So which will have definitely will be to a disadvantage. Optimum temperature for the bulb formation is 25 to 30 degrees centigrade, and it is grown above mean sea level at 1,000 to 13,000 meters above sea level. What is the soil condition? What's normally required for propagation of this is very important to understand. But it must have well-drained soils. There must so there's going to be a loss. Well-drained soil to protect the cultivation and will give us a protect the crop, garlic, and also will help the better propagation and multiplication of the cloves. And also, soil should be well-tilled, well-drained, and pH in between 6 and 7 degrees centigrade, and soil must remain mostly dry, and regular and good irrigation is required at the free and at a good. It tolerates the salinity in between 0.6 to 7.8 DSM, which is ideally suited. What are the varieties? What are the varieties which normally are being cultivated or promoted in India? Number one, this is Bhima Omkar. It has been released in 2013. It is varieties. What are the varieties? Is the Bhima Omkar variety. Bhima Omkar variety, it matches in 120 to 135 days with an average yield is 8 to 14 tons per hectare. 8 to 14 tons per hectare. And produces medium size, compact and white bulbs, susceptible to trips and recommended for cultivation in Gujarat, Haryana, Rajasthan and Delhi. These are the three regions where this variety has been released, and for these regions, the variety has been released. It is Yamuna Safeda 3. It matures, it is Yamuna Safed 5. It matures in 150 to 160 days after planting. Bulb is white and big in size, about 4.5 to 5 centimeters in diameter. Average yield is 17 to 18 tons per hectare. Recommended for cultivation in Delhi. Recommended for cultivation in Delhi, UP, Haryana, Bihar, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. These are the varieties which normally have been recommended in these areas and has the highest production, highest productivity. It is 17 to 18 tons per hectare. What that means, on an average, we normally harvest at the rate of the 5.29 tons per hectare, and this variety, in case this will be propagated and will be having an extensive use in our soils for its propagation purposes, can give us a yield 17 to 18 tons. That means 300% increase in the yield if this variety would be promoted for usage by our farmers in these states. This will definitely find will find an economic interest amongst the farmers for its sustenance because of the yield superiority what normally it maintains in comparison to the other varieties of this garlic. Similarly, it is agri-found white variety. It is mass selection from the local collection obtained by Bihar Sharif area in Bihar. It gives us the yield almost 130 coinable. That means 13 tons per hectare. It has a yield, but still it is better than the average yield what normally we get at present. What that means, there is a scope for adopting the high yielding varieties normally for propagating this garlic crop in order to have the desired results of having the high garlic by the varieties which normally yield us better and also are significantly 200% yield than the old and traditional varieties should be put in use. The propagation it is first sown in the month of June and July. Second season, it is October and November. What that means, we take normally two seasons, two crops. Firstly, it is sown in the month of June and July, and second season is October and November. Therefore, one season is two times it is being cultivated in India. Garlic is propagated by cloves. 300, the seed rate is 300 to 500 kgs cloves per hectare. Dibbling or furrow, it is being planted in the various furrows in order to have the best results. The field is divided into small plots. Dibbling, convenient for irrigation. Cloves may be dibbled to add 5 to must be maintained in order to have the desired results. Furrow planting, the furrows are made 15 centimeters. Furrows are made 15 centimeters. In these furrows, cloves are dropped by hand 7.5 to 10 centimeters apart. They are covered slightly with loose soils, and light irrigation is being given. What normally is the manures and the fertilizers are required. It is 25 tons of farmyard manure as a basal dosage, 60 kgs of nitrogen, and 50 kgs each of phosphorus and potash. This is required to have a standard package of practice to have the desired results of the higher production and productivities. Irrigation, 8 days intervals irrigation is being given at 8 days intervals. Harvesting is 4.5 to 5 months. It is being harvested when it is ready. Maturity index leaves start turning yellowish or brownish and shows signs of drying. And normal procedure, that's called the senescence stage, when the crop will start taking the nutrients will not be there, and it turn out to be pale and a yellow. Yellow it will be, then only it is being harvested, and its yield is 5 tons. That means 50 quintals or 110 quintals per hectare. That's too low. What is basically a plant protection measures what normally are to be adopted to have the best production and productivity. Next, next, next slide, please. Okay. Thrips causes withering of leaves, controlled by spraying methyl dimetol. It is 25 active ingredient at the rate of 1 ml per liter of water. Nematodes controlled by the application of the carbofuran, 3 grams per kg active ingredient, 20 days interval. Important diseases, it's a white rot, leaf decay at the base, roots and bulbs covered with fluffy white mycelium. That means the fungal attack. Affected bulbs may become watery and outer scale cracks as bulb dries and shrinks. Managements, rotating out allium crops for 10 years, destroying infected tissues and planting diseases, free stalks. Seed dressing with carbendazim must be undertaken before sowing. It is basal rot. Fusarium oxysporium. Plants show reduced emergence, yellowing and browning. And management, avoid rotation with allium species, onion or leek. Store bulbs at the cool temperature and low humidity with good ventilation. And avoid storing damaged bulbs. These are the plant protection measures which are necessarily to be taken in order to reach out to these exports. What normally now exactly is export potential? Export potential and its trade. If we will go into the basics of 1960, next 61 and 62, India has started exporting this garlic 2,000 tons of empties of garlic. What that means dates back almost 60 years. 60 years that we have been exporting this garlic because of its high value and its production. Major importing countries of garlic have been Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Zambia, UAE, Bahrain, Mauritius, Kuwait, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. The export is only maximum 2 to 3%, 2 to 3%, and it has been as on date 5% of the total production. Rest is all consumed in our domestic, huge demand in our domestic markets. And it is medicinal properties which normally you will find in the various Ayurvedic and medicines. The quantum of exports has been fluctuating due to frequent and sudden change in the policy of government. Garlic importing countries like China, France, Spain, and Egypt. However, major garlic exporting country or major garlic is being exported to other countries. These countries being at the higher latitudes produce bigger clove garlics which are more in demand. That I already told you that we don't have the good varieties, but normally have to be propagated under our ideal under our conditions, though the uh, environmental conditions are well suited for the garlic production, and henceforth the older varieties which are normally under cultivation this time should be replaced by the high yielding varieties, which no, and also which must be bigger, car, bigger in size because they are in liking across the world. Bigger in India, the production of the bigger clove garlic is not on a big scale, but it is picking up in the northern hills and Nilgiri hills in view of the increasing demand in exports markets. India exported almost it is 3 lakh metric tons of garlic in 2020-21, and in 2010 and 11 it was 2 lakh and 18,000 almost on an average metric tons, which was the exports can be increased by 10 to 15 times by its cultivation of the bigger clove variety, which normally is in demand across the world in the world markets. The smaller one, which normally is being presently used by the Indian and Indian markets, is being put in sale for the Indian markets, are smaller in size, whereas the varieties which normally are being cultivated across the world in the major countries are producing better clothes which are in demand and are generating the huge incomes for their respective countries. Now in India, it's already picking up in the northern hills and the Nilgiri hills, where it has been found a huge potential for these bigger garlic for the exports. And these are the areas already now earmarked for export of the garlics in the different countries across the different countries, and are finding the new markets in the business platforms. The export markets, exports of garlic from India are not free, but are permitted only through designated channeling agencies in order to provide market support to the producers and ensure a better price to them, and also to maintain the availability of the commodities in the domestic market at a reasonable price. NAFED, which is the government of Indian agency, is undertaking the internal trade in agricultural commodities, especially in food grains, pulses, oilseeds, cotton, vegetable eggs, which is normally now designated almost now a platform for undertaking the business of this procurement, wholesale of garlic, onions, and also the exports of these garlic from India. NAFID is also engaged in as an external trade agency and variety and by the government of India for facilitating the exports of garlic, and which will help ultimately the farmers and the farming to maintain their economic conditions, to improve their economic conditions. For that matter, the different agencies are being channelized to ensure to maximize the exports of our garlic, provided all across the India, the varieties which are traditionally being used are not being replaced by the high yielding varieties till then the export potential. But the future of the garlic trade, garlic exports is always very high from India, as India offers congenial weather conditions for its production and enhance the productivity, provided newer varieties, high yielding varieties would be replaced by the low yielding varieties, and also various prophylatic measures are taken in order to make the standard close in order to have the in order to have the best in the export business from the export business of this clothes, which normally the world offers us because of its a lot of uses, multifarious uses in various culinaries and also in the Ayurvedas, in also in the having the huge medicinal effects. Therefore, India will be a heaven for the garlic production, provided various smaller initiatives are taken, various awareness camps, various awarenesses are being held. So in order to aware the farmers how the propagation is to be undertaken, right from this sowing till it is harvesting, and it is storage, and it is packing, packaging, and the value additions, which will definitely open the new business arenas for our people, for our farmers, and will definitely empower them economically, and will make a good name and fame, and which otherwise our country has maintained in other matters. Not nevertheless, garlic will definitely will follow the suit. And I'm greatly thankful you have given me a patient hearing. And if anyone has a question, please feel free to ask me as and when you have. My address will be also given by the host, which are sharing my email address and my WhatsApp number. If anyone desires to talk to me on telephone or on email, he can just reach out to me, and I will try my level best to reach out to you and to give you the educated information what normally I am in possession of, and it will be my honor and pleasure to help my countrymen in any manner, in any matter regarding my subject, wherever you will feel necessity to hold an interaction or hold an information from to take the information from me. Thank you, and thank you. God bless you all, and good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Altaf, for a very detailed presentation. We don't have many questions, just a couple of questions. So the first question is, do you provide consultancy services?
Yeah. I, as an individual, I provide the consultancy service for any person free of cost. It is not that I will be just charging anybody. No, not at all. I had been an agriculture fraternity person. I had been a director. I am at present in advisory services. Whosoever wants to, this is my pastime. This is my passion to help my people staying across every part of the world, India, to help my people, regardless where we stay.
Okay. Next question is, in India, in India, which variety of garlic is grown in large quantity?
Oh,
As you
I've
mentioned,
just
there are
given
different
you.
varieties.
Yeah, there are mostly the varieties which normally सबसे ज्यादा variety यहाँ पर जो हमारा होगा वो सफेदा variety. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 9. Those are already grown, but those are very low yielding, and we need to replace them. We need to replace them the varieties which have normally just already made the mention. What are the varieties given you? Is the first variety what normally I have given you, that it is Beam Omkar variety, which has an almost 40 production, and also Yamana phase 5. It is showing good results, and it is agri found white. It is finding good yield of almost uh, 13 tons per hectare. So we should always come out of the slackness in our systems, that on average we are just yielding only at 5.29. Now that means there is a huge difference between the varieties which have been already released for the various states, which are yielding at the higher yields, and then normally the yield varieties which are presently being propagated, those are yielding at a very low, or yielding very low. There is an alarming situation that we need to come up with the varieties what normally yields is higher, and should be propagated that, and should be replaced immediately by these high yielding varieties.
Okay. And now we have the next and last question. What is the taste difference in different varieties of garlic?
Yes, I could not get it. What do you say?
Is there a taste difference in different varieties of garlic?
Every variety has its own composition. Every variety. I have just made the point that initially, if we say that there's a carbohydrate content, there are riboflavin, there is protein content, phosphorus. Every variety has different varieties, and then on the basis of that analysis, every variety is given a different yield components. The more the carbohydrate content, the yield will be comparatively better. So it would be more preferred choice for the farmers and the people who take that garlic, because on the nutritional information, every consumer is always interested in the varieties which normally offers us good carbohydrates, good ascorbic acid, good proteins, good phosphorus, good thiamine, good riboflavin, good calcium. those varieties which are in good amount, maximum values I have already given you. In that range, if you will find the varieties, so everybody will take that. So those are the reasons which we have to maintain by under all standards in order to reach to the international markets. Because unless and until you reach to the level where you can maintain the nutritional information, what normally the garlic does have, those varieties will offer us. Definitely, those ought to be promoted under our system and under our agronomic conditions, agroclimatic conditions. Yes.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Altaf, I don't see any more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank you for a very detailed presentation and answering all the questions in detail. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. And on behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I wish everyone very happy and prosperous New Year ahead. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. And from my side, Happy New Year to my countrymen. Whosoever will be a participant who will listen to it, kindly convey my heartiest greetings and hope this year will bring the peace and prosperity to all people, to my nation, to my countrymen, in their families and to their families. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wish you also a very happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please send me this video of this to
Sure.
on my
Sure.
address.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.